Send out our Facebook notification. And there we go. All right, here we go. Good morning, everybody. This is Todd Allen from the TV6 News Now studio with a new feature that we are going to be bringing you weekly here from the TV6 News Now studio. We're going to be calling this our Midweek Motivations. I am actually joined today by Coach Rue. She is a life coach and will be joining us every Wednesday for these Midweek Motivations. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you, Todd? Thanks so much for having me.
Well, I'm a little stressed out. It's kind of par for the course these days, I guess, with everything that's going on. There is so much on people's plates. So before we kind of get started diving into the deeper issues, why don't you just take a second and introduce yourself to everybody and let us know, what does it mean to actually be a life coach?
Sure. My name is Ramasa Kwaja. I am a life coach, transformational coach, helping people go from wanting to doing. So, meaning, if you feel stuck or those moments that you're like, gosh, something doesn't feel right. I want more, but I don't really know how to go about it. I hold space for people and we kind of get to the root of the problem and go from wanting to doing. Let's tackle some of these action steps to get you where you want to go.
Okay, and what does it take to become a lifestyle coach?
Yeah. So basically, a little bit about myself, rewind is I was living in Los Angeles for 10 years and I was just feeling like I wasn't getting to the next thing and making the money I wanted. And I just felt a little stuck. And so a girlfriend of mine was actually taking a transformational course in Chicago remotely from LA. And I had family in Chicago and I took a year course, which led me to going to graduate school, which led me to being like, I'm doing all this work on myself and I'm seeing changes happening because I'm doing things differently. Went for school, got certified in coaching, and here I am 5 years later doing the thing that I love.
Well, that's great that you're doing exactly what you love. I wish more people were able to pursue those loves and those passions. And that's kind of one of the things that we're going to try to start helping people with this midweek motivation series that we're going to be doing as part of this platform. This week, we kind of wanted to touch on something that's on everybody's minds these days, and that's school. It's already back to school time, which in a normal year is stressful enough for parents and students starting to think about going back to school. But in 2020, the year of COVID-19, there seems like there's so much more on people's plates. I thought that would be a great place for us to start talking about, what would you say to parents now that have all of this extra on top of them these days?
Yeah. So right now, there's so many unknown factors happening right now, and we've been through the gauntlet already. So for parents, I'm a mother of a 4.5-year-old, so she's little, but still reminding yourself that you are human, and that I think we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves of having to figure it all out. But just being, I would stress the first and foremost to not, you don't have to have all the answers right here and right now, but to be kind, compassionate to yourself. And this is a learning curve, and we have never done something like this before. So really being kind and gentle, and coming up with a game plan. There's still 4 weeks left, and just kind of doing some research and asking yourself first and foremost, what are my core values and my beliefs? Because there's so many different ways to go about this, right? Homeschooling versus taking your child to school, and so many different factors.
Well, and one of the things that people are, wrestling with right now is making that choice. Do we send our children back to school part-time and then homeschool, or do we just want to keep our kids at home? How would you coach somebody through making those decisions? I mean, that's a huge decision for not only the parent, but also for the child. There's got to be so much that goes into those kind of situations.
Absolutely. First of all, are you a working parent? Right? That's going to be, are you working from home? And what's feasible, what is realistic for you? Number one, safety of your child, absolutely. And also, are you able to, in your heart, if you're that person, if you're that parent who can tackle the homeschooling and working. If you're a stay-at-home mom or dad, asking yourself, what are some systems that I can put into place? Right now we're in summertime, summer break, and in the spring our schedules changed, but really creating these schedules or creating these ways of being where it's discipline, routine is super important when school starts, to really ask yourself, okay, is this something that I can individually tackle, or am I going to need support, or am I going to need to look into a tutor or research homeschooling, looking at Facebook groups or other people that you may know that are already homeschooling to begin with.
So, between work and parenting, life can already be tough. Now people are dealing with COVID. They're having to deal with teaching their kids. We want to send people into the weekend. It's Wednesday. We're heading over the hump. We're heading into we want people to be in that positive mindset going into the weekend. So, with everything that people are dealing with now, what would you say to them to kind of get them in that positive headspace where they can worry less and start enjoying life more? Things are so crazy right now. What would your coaching method be to put somebody on that path?
Yeah. So, what can you control today, right? What can you do today to get you through the day? And I want to say get you through, but what are the things that you do enjoy doing? How can you connect with your child? How can you connect with yourself first and foremost? And ask yourself these questions of, how am I feeling today? What is it that I need more of? Did I fill my cup up? And before even going, we're at Wednesday, so you've made it this far. It's Wednesday, and think of at the beginning, right? Think of the beginning of quarantine, how far you've made it through. You figured it out. So you're figuring it out. You're going to continue to figure it out. And sometimes you're going to make messes, and it's okay. So you've come this far. So that's the first thing. And I would say, going into the weekend to research and look what does work for you and what is realistic for you. And we all know that we are social beings, and our kids are need kids. And so really looking within and asking yourself, what is it, if I am looking at teaching, what does it look like? How can I make it fun? How can I look at it as I'm going to spend more time with my child? And how can we, have fun in the process? Like, this is a really great way to have some social emotional learning. So, looking at objects, eating food together, asking, where do you think this came from? How do you think they grew this? And just like
Yeah.
really playing. So I think it comes down to perspective, just really like shifting the way that you think about things.
And you had mentioned, the children. We've kind of been talking about what can the parents do to alleviate their stress. What can they do to help out their kids? But we kind of forgot about that children are going through this as well, especially going back to school. Things are going to be different. They kind of went through it here, in the winter into the summer, or before we went into the summer. Things were different then, but starting a school year in this new environment, what would you say to the kids who are possibly going back to school only part-time and then homeschooling? And how do they deal with their parents when they're not only functioning as a parent, but they're also functioning as their teacher? That can be a very thin line for them to try to navigate.
Yeah, so I think it's really important for the kiddos to also, have those breaks for themselves and to speak. I think communication is really important to say if you're not understanding something, or if it's too much to take, to ask for a break, but also creating some sort of normalcy, perhaps. I mean, this isn't your teacher, but also to, if you're not understanding something and if you need more help or if you need assistance. And let's be real, there's going to be, if it's not your teacher and it's your parents, it's going to be easy to have those tiffs and to have those mini arguments, but
Yeah.
to remember that your parents doing the best that they can, and this is not forever. So just, you know, use it as a time to connect with mom and dad a little bit more. And um, and I think it's really important to have some normalcy in the sense of taking breaks while the weather's nice, going outside for recess or going for a hike together, or doing some outdoor activities, or even, I wouldn't say so much, you know, doing the pad, the iPad, and all of that, but something that is something that you enjoy doing to take a break. Like, I need a timeout. Can I just have 10 minutes for a timeout or something of that nature?
Well,
Yeah,
Coach Ruth,
listening to you. Listening to that side.
yeah, Coach Ruth, thank you so much for joining us this week for our midweek motivation. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us. We look forward to continuing these conversations as we move forward. Where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you, if they want to learn more about life coaching? Where can people get in touch with you? Give everybody your socials so people can get in touch with you if they have more questions.
Sure. You can find me at Coach Ramesa, RUMAISA.com, and join the email distribution list where I have special offers and fun things coming up, or a free consultation with me.
Coach Ruth, thank you so much for joining us. This has been our midweek motivation. We will have another one for you on Wednesday. We will talk to everybody then. And we